Let's talk about Graham Parsons.
Yeah, I can tell you.
When was the first time you met him?
Well, I was at the plantation. I was living at the plantation in the valley, and he was a big fan of Delaney and Bonnie. You know, he loved our band. He loved me and Delaney. He loved Delaney and Bonnie and me when it was just the three of us. Mm-hmm. And that's when I met him. I couldn't tell you exactly where it was, but I think it might have been at the plantation, but or it may have been somewhere else. You know, and, through one of those Hollywood people in the hills. You know, because that's where he was. You know, and Graham was a lovely, lovely man, and talented, and he had his own country concept, you know, country music. He discovered Delaney and Bonnie and Friends. Mm-hmm. He's the very, very one that did it, and had it not been for him, we wouldn't be sitting here having this talk. You know, he was directly responsible for a lot of incredible stuff. You know, he told me he wrote Wild Horses, and I believe him. You know, but he loved Delaney and Bonnie and Friends, and when we put the band together, his band was called the Flying Burrito Brothers. And they all dressed up in nudie suits. And I was at the plantation one time, and it was middle of summertime, and it was hot as hell in the valley. You know, it's when you look out and everything's kind of moving.
Wavy.
You know?
Wavy.
Yeah, it's wavy. It's like you kind of get a hold of yourself. But he came over, and he said, "What do you think of this?" And he had a nudie suit on. You know, middle of the day, in the valley at the plantation. He had this white, beautiful nudie suit, and it's the one you see photos of him.
Oh yeah.
You know, with it, yeah, and it was way, way cool. But I mean, we went out together. I don't even know how many times. You know, at Scotty's Bun and Run. I think it was on North Lancashire or something.
Yeah.
This guy Scotty, he was from Apple Valley, but he had this little thing. It wasn't very big, a little trailer, you know. He was cooking and it was open all three ways around it. And he would carry on a conversation with this person and this person and this person and this person and that person all at the same time, you know. Mm-hmm. But
he was an interesting man. He had a lot of money and
yeah, you met him too.
He used to come to the house all the time.
Oh hell, that's right. You said that.
And he told me that he had letters from President Lincoln that were written to his mother, and he'd never released them to the world.
No, he was an interesting man.
Very.
You know, but anyway, he turned me on to introduced me to Nudie. You know, Graham did, and I had a couple of Nudie shirts. I don't know what happened to them over the years.
Was Graham with Emmylou at the time?
No, he was Flying Burrito Brothers.
No. Was he dating Emily? Weren't Emmylou Harris?
Were they an item?
Yes.
I didn't know about him being an item, you know, but I knew that they were friends. And eventually they cut some things together. I wasn't keeping up with them, you know.
Right.
It was enough that I could do to keep up with Delaney and Bonnie. That's what he got, a double handful. And but he introduced us to his good friend Alan Pariser. He became Delaney and Bonnie's manager. Alan Pariser was extremely wealthy. I mean, he had so much money that he had to go to a psychiatrist, you know. He told me this. But he was the heir to the Dixie Lily Sweetheart Paper Cup Company. And his great-grandfather invented ice cream cones, you know, those things. And we went up there It's near Nazareth, Pennsylvania, where his mom and daddy lived. And it was like a 4-bedroom house and had sparkly ceilings, you know. These people were stinking rich, and he has like a little old teeny place, some sparkly ceilings. I'll never forget it. Gregory on the...
Yeah, I was going to say Gregory.
Gregory everywhere, you know.
Maybe Mac had been there.
Yeah. But Alan, God dang, he just was crazy about Delaney and Bonnie. I mean, and you know, we went. It was him and me and Delaney and Bonnie went out on that radio tour when we.
Who was writing the songs? Let me just ask you that. The songs, the Delaney and Bonnie song. Who was writing those songs?
Well, Delaney was writing them. You know.
I mean, all like the Gift of Love, Someday.
Now some of them. Now there's a couple of songs he did with Mac Davis. You know.
Right. One with Hello L.A. Bye Bye Birmingham, which you
Yeah,
did.
I recorded that.
Right.
And
The Ghetto. And
God, man, Delaney could write some of the most beautiful. Look into the face of the common man as he kneels and feels his new plowed land. Turns his thankful eyes to the skies above. Turn around and see his woman smile as she sees to the needs of a baby child. Plain old people, if they got the gift of love. Oh my goodness, he could write some songs, you know, and they just flowed, you know. He was connected and didn't know it. That's the thing with Delaney. He was connected to the creative principle of the universe.
How about,
did not know it, you know.
I was going to ask you, Coming Home.
Oh, Coming Home, he wrote that by himself. As a matter of fact, I watched him write Coming Home on the bus. He had a Coming Home and a couple of other ones. But he was up there and he had headphones that plug his guitar into these headphones. Now, he couldn't hear, so he was on the bus up here, on 2 seats up on my left. Delaney was, and he would be singing at the top of his thing, you know, just up there by himself, you know. And I'm coming home to your love. Been out on the road about 6 months too long. I want you so bad, I can't hardly stand it. I'm so tired and I'm all alone. We'll soon be together. And baby, that's why I'm coming home to your love.
What a great song, man.
Yeah, and he'd say, listen to this. I said, I've heard all of that part. He said, no, listen to it now. And so he put one headphone on me and he had the other one on. So
it was beautiful. That's been beautiful in the beginning.
Oh, it was. Watching all of that and being a part of it coming together. Yeah. You know, but Alan, he just loved Delaney and Bonnie. He was the one that knew George and Eric and Ringo and Jimi Hendrix and all these people. He had a house up in the hills in Hollywood, and he had the best cocaine and the best pot in the whole of L.A. So he knew all of these rock stars, every rock star and every Hollywood star and producers and everything. They all went to Alan, so they was hanging out, you know. Dustin Hoffman walking through the front door. I'm there, and this is all this stuff, you know, and that Peter Fonda. I mean, it's like all these people are just popping in and out. Hell, I was from Memphis and Millington, Tennessee, you know, and all of a sudden here all these movie stars are and rock and roll stars, you know. But Alan was the one. He's the one. He and Barry Feinstein and Tom Wilkes and Sid Kaiser were the group three. They were the ones behind the Delaney and Bonnie movement. You know, they were the ones that were pulling the strings and making things happen. You know, whatever the catch it was to make it all work, it worked. You know, but even for Alan though, after the end of the day, he couldn't handle any more of them. You know, he was just so he was so distraught and tore apart at this, having to split from Delaney and Bonnie because he loved them so much, you know, and they didn't realize it. You know, they didn't realize what was right there. You know, mega stardom was right at their feet, and he took them to it, you know, and introduced them to all the right people, you know, and that's why it all happened for them for a little while until after the tour in England.
And wasn't he announced won the award for the biggest groupie of all time?
Oh yeah, oh man, Rolling Stone. He was nominated, and we're out on the road, okay? And he was nominated #1 male groupie.
Oh God!
They didn't put richest male groupie.
Oh my Lord!
But yeah, and it came out. And Delaney was like, he didn't want to hear anything about it, you know. His manager was voted #1 male groupie by Rolling Stone. That was when Rolling Stone was a paper. It was folded, you know. It was pretty cool.
It was the best. Oh yeah, I think we've all had a few of those.
Yeah.
Anyway, another great story. Thanks a lot.
Fun stuff.
Bye.